Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Make My Food Awesome. I'm Mark Allen France, your guide to good food, and this is Tricia Morrissey, my sweetheart of science. And we're glad to have you guys back once again. All our Team Awesome friends and family members out there.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're new here, if you've, just found us perchance, go ahead, pop down there. Hit the subscribe button. Join us. Hit the little bell and you get all of our subscriptions. And you can be a member of Team Awesome too.
Yeah. We would love to have you.
So we actually are going to be talking about some interesting things today.
Yeah.
For the longest time, ever since I was little until I don't know when, until recently.
Last couple of
years. Well, I didn't even know that. But I have been taught, and many of you have been taught about this pyramid, I'm going to call it a scheme. This pyramid thing when it comes to eating. And that was basically what we looked at for how we ate throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. The food pyramid.
The food pyramid. And now, all of a sudden, when I was talking to Tricia, not too long ago, she sat there and she goes, oh, well, the food pyramid doesn't exist anymore.
Nope.
It's been taken over by
something called MyPlate. Well, you're probably wondering what this MyPlate stuff's all about. So I'm going to fill you in on it. The first thing, though, I want to talk about is literally your dinner plate. Historically, a standard dinner plate is 10.5 inches in diameter, which is plenty of space to fill up with food. Unfortunately, a lot of our restaurants nowadays have upped their sizes to 11 or 12-inch plates, which means bigger portions. Bigger portions means more calories. More calories means weight gain in a lot of our cases. So we really want to stick with a 10.5-inch dinner plate when you're talking about the MyPlate plan. So this is a standard 10.5-inch dinner plate.
Very good.
Well, so the 10.5 inches plate is a really great space to fill up with food. But the key is, what do you actually fill it up with?
Pizza.
Well, you could put pizza on there, but it depends on what you're putting on your
Mashed
pizza.
potatoes.
All those things are great. You can eat those things, but you have to know how much of each you should have.
Mm-hmm.
So MyPlate has kind of put together a visual letting you know how to have a very balanced plate and a healthy plate and what to put on it to fill you up. So,
that's good.
So the plant-based MyPlate plan is based off a 2,200 calorie a day diet. Mm-hmm. You can decrease that calorie intake by changing up the amount of servings you put on your plate. Or if you're trying to, build muscle and you need to beef up those calories, you can add servings to each of your food categories on MyPlate.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it's broken down into 5 categories. You have your fruits, you have your vegetables, you have your grains, and to replace meat protein, your legumes or your plant proteins, and then you have a category where you have nuts and seeds, and that's where you get your fats and your oils from instead of from the animal fats and oils. And then your beverage is, going to be your drink, which is water. Water's the best. But there's other things you can have with the MyPlate when you're looking at a plant-based diet. So I just kind of want to break down how many servings, and we're going to be sharing this diagram to kind of show you visually what it should look like on your plate, how much space on your plate should be taken up by these food categories.
So let's go ahead and here's the diagram. And if you want to go ahead and explain a little bit about what they're looking at.
Yeah, so for fruits, we're going to start with that. You should have 4 or more servings of fruit at your meals a day. And you could have maybe 2 servings, say, at breakfast, and maybe you have 2 servings at lunch, or you save it for dinner. You can divide up how you want to do your servings for your meals. Something to keep in mind is you want to make sure that you try to do mostly whole fruits. Those will give you a lot more fiber and less calories than a fruit juice. And if you are going to incorporate fruit juices, you definitely want to make sure that they're cold pressed juices and they haven't been highly processed.
Question about that.
Sure.
Now, so if I want to make myself a a juice drink or a smoothie, does that count as whole fruit? Or like if I'm taking a whole bunch of apples, throwing it into my blender?
Yeah, if you have your peels on there and you core and get rid of the seeds, you're incorporating the whole entire piece of fruit.
Gotcha.
That's what we want, because that really it gives you fiber along with the vitamins that the fruit provides for you.
Okay, and what's the next section?
The next section is vegetables, and you want 5 or more of these a day servings. And you can include starchy vegetables in there, but the more non-starchy vegetables that you incorporate, the better, because you're getting lots of antioxidants, you're getting vitamins that your body needs to function. You know, potatoes, if you're going to do potatoes, I wouldn't do fries. I would do a baked potato or a baked sweet potato if you're going to include your starchy type vegetables.
Right.
The next category would be grains, and you want 3 or more of these servings a day. Whole grains are better than processed white bread or white rice, because whole grains give you more fiber and they have a higher vitamin content than highly processed grains. And then the next category would be your legumes, which is your plant proteins, and you want 3 or more of those servings. You kind of want to estimate it. If you can fill your palm with the size of those servings, that's the right amount for you. And you can incorporate that during your lunch and dinner, or even in your breakfast if you're doing any kind of protein-based powders, if you're making smoothies, or you're doing you're sprinkling some protein-based stuff into warm cereals, stuff like that. And then our small category is your nut and seeds, where you get your fats and oils. You want 1 or more of these servings a day, because you want to incorporate your heart-healthy oils and fats.
Gotcha.
Your body does need some of those, just not a lot. And then your drink categories, you really want to stick with water. You can incorporate fruit drinks, fruit juices. Plant-based milks are good, but water should be the majority of what your intake for liquids are, because water helps you process proteins, and that's going to be a good sized chunk of your plate.
Now, I have a question.
Sure.
Well, one of many, because I am learning a lot here, because, like I said, I'm not very familiar with how it's breaking down, but it's starting to make sense. Now, if you have wheat, if you are eating wheat,
right,
is that considered a grain?
Yes, but you want it to be whole wheat.
Whole wheat, okay.
You don't want highly processed wheat.
So
you don't really want to buy white breads.
Right. So does that change, because I use Vital Wheat gluten?
Gluten is part of that whole wheat kernel. So if you're going to buy it, are you meaning if you buy it as a flour?
Because if I use it when I'm making like seitan, and that it says on there it's about 80% protein.
So actually, if you're just looking at the gluten part of that is going to be part of your protein category, not necessarily your grain, because it's extracted and pulled from the wheat kernel.
Okay. Good. So now, how do I know when I am? Well, I know when I'm full, but how do I know when I should stop eating what's on my plate? If I put too much on there, and it's one of those days where it's raining outside and I want to sit inside and watch some TV, and I pile a little bit too much on my plate.
Well, basically, a good rule of thumb, a lot of times, things that you want to think about, depending on how far off from this, how bad you've allowed your diet to become. You want to eat until you're about 80% full, that sensation of feeling full. And it's going to be different for each person. Different ages will, your metabolism changes as you get older. And as if you're versus a teenager that's during their growth spurt versus, somebody our age, the way we burn those calories, the way we feel full might vary from person to person, but about 80% full. You don't want to be like full to the gills, because you've overdone it.
Right.
A lot of times, unfortunately, because a lot of people are underhydrated, they will have the sensation of feeling hungry and not really realize that that's their sensation that they're thirsty. So instead of hydrating the body properly, they will binge eat, raid the fridge, raid the pantry, stuff your face full of whatever you get your hands on and not realizing that you should have been hydrating the body to do that. And it's important that you have proper hydration because it helps you digest.
And I know I've learned the hard way. Do not go to the grocery store when you're hungry.
No, don't go shopping when you're hungry. You should always make a list because then you know that, cross it off on your list as you go. This is what I'm going to get. It's easier to stay the course when, one, you're not hungry, and two, you have a list. You go in knowing what you want, and you're not just buying like, hunger items.
Look, there's some marshmallows, and let's grab the Pop-Tarts.
And stores are genius in how they place their products.
Oh, I know. I worked in grocery stores for years, and they cross merchandise everything so that when you're going in there and you're wanting to get a jar of peanut butter, they have that big loaf of white bread next to it, or else
a big thing of jelly or jam.
Exactly. In around Thanksgiving and Christmas, the holidays are the biggest times when they cross merchandise everything. You'll see that people go in and they we're not eating turkey, but if someone's buying a turkey, they have all the other fixings to go along processed. And I know that one thing in regards to this is, and I've learned this being with my heart and everything, stay away from processed foods. A lot of processed foods are
there's
bad.
A lot of salt and sugars in there. There's preservatives. And if you can, the fresher you can buy your food, the more whole that food comes from its original source, the better nutrition you're going to get. And I know, depending on what region you live in and what kind of seasons you have, you try to eat seasonally, try to support your local farms and produce producers in your area. But these are all things that you should be aware of and you should take into account when you're planning your meals for the week. And, a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to take my dinner plate and I'm not going to, divide it up like our diagram. But, if you think about it as 4 pieces of the pie, 50% of your plate should be filled with fruits and vegetables. And something that you want to think about is the more colors that you have on your plate between your fruits and vegetables, the more nutrients you're getting. So, if you're teaching your young child this, you could help them remember this by trying to eat the colors of the rainbow. If you can get as many colors as you can on your plate, the better off you are. You're bringing in so many important vitamins and nutrients that the body really will benefit from. So
if I have cauliflower, it's white and doesn't really have a color to it. Does that count?
Well, white in the light spectrum is
all
the
everything
colors together.
Sorry.
In the paint world, it means all it's black.
So no black beans then.
No, black beans are good. No, those are good legumes. All colors of everything. So you want to be mindful of that. And this is not much different than if you were doing a non-plant-based MyPlate. The legumes just replace your meat, and your fats and oils come from your dairy, and some of your meats. You want to try to stick with lean things, just so you know. It's not a whole lot different.
That's good. So I know that I keep learning all this stuff, and it's good for me because like I've told you guys, I'm on this new adventure, to get to, speaking of lean, to get lean, to get back to where I was.
Yeah, and have a strong heart.
And
lower
feel
your
better.
cholesterol and feel better. You'll have so much more energy without even realizing it.
And that's one thing that I know that after I was diagnosed back in 2017, when I lost all that weight, I just felt energized. I remember going out for bike rides all over, and we still do bike rides. But I remember, when we had all that dirt out in the front that we had to move, and I remember
5 yards of dirt. It was
covered in sweat, and we moved a whole ton of it. But it's I'm starting to feel better. I'm making changes, which is good. Drinking a lot more water now. I got myself a super huge bottle of water, or bottle for water. But it's just, I'm looking forward to, as we go on, for you guys out there, getting you guys just fired up about this.
Eating healthy and looking at your portion sizes doesn't have to be daunting. It doesn't have to be boring or, you know, difficult. I mean, our mission is to fire you up and to give you that knowledge so you can empower yourself to feel great.
And I know that we had a delicious lunch today. It was very, very good, which you can see that in a recent episode. But you know, I'm feeling a lot better, a lot more water in me. We're going out for drives, walking, bike
We did
ride.
a lot of hiking on our family vacation.
Oh yeah,
which was good. And it was hilly terrain, so we did swimming, so it was good. We incorporated a lot of activity with this diet change.
And swimming in Lake Michigan is one of my favorite things to do.
Yes, we lucked out. I mean, it was warm, but we had nice enough weather to enjoy the outdoors the way we wanted to.
So, anyways,
Yep.
we're glad you guys have, stuck around and listened a little bit to, something that, we all need to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's good information, and once, you have that knowledge, you can do so much for yourself.
And as they say, knowledge is power, and never stop learning.
That's right.
Because I believe it was Albert Einstein who said, when you stop learning, you start dying. And so keep learning, join us once again, for some more recipes and food, and follow videos like this to learn, and so that you guys can be part of Team Awesome as we make this journey together, and we can help one another. And if you guys have any ideas for something you'd like to see us make, pop it down in our comments section. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to be making some scrumptious, delicious foods coming up. We have a video we're going to be doing for one of our episodes about our trip that we took recently. Just hopefully, give you guys some ideas on, what you'd like to do for maybe a vacation or just a staycation. That's absolutely fine. Staycations are fun.
Right. And if you want to learn more about the MyPlate plan, you can always research it on your health department website via your state, depending on wherever you're from. So there's lots of stuff out there. This is a starting point for you, and hopefully we
got you going.
Yeah, fired you up to try some new things and learn how to eat better.
Yep. And if you want to become a member of Team Awesome,
Yes.
go down. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell. Get all of our notifications. Also, you can go to www.makemyfoodawesome.com, and we have a newsletter.
Yeah.
And we include recipes, tips. We're going to have links to all of our different videos in there, and you get free recipes. So how can you complain?
Yeah, try them out. I mean, it's something new.
Yep.
I know that we can all get stuck in our 5-meal routine every week, and it's time to venture out and try something different.
So thanks again, guys. We're glad that you came back and joined us, and we hope to see you once again on Make My Food Awesome. And we will see you guys very, very soon.
Bye.
Take care. Goodbye.